Good evening, everybody. What's up? Welcome to it. It is the OMU podcast with your host, Tando Faku, coming all the way from the Kruger National Park. Do not mind the noise in the background. I am in a different venue. I try to keep it fresh, I keep changing venues. I'm somewhere in the park right now, and I've been allowed to do this podcast from here. We've got a very interesting gentleman, but before I introduce him, there are certain instructions that I do need you guys to follow. If you may please allow me to instruct you to follow us on all our social media pages, and that is on Instagram, that is on LinkedIn, as well as on Facebook. You can also like and subscribe our YouTube channel right there. If you like and hit the bell notification, you will get all the updates about the channel and about the OMU podcast, new episodes, and everything that is going on over there, also at the school. But this is not about that right now. We are meeting an old Muirite who matriculated in 2007, and he went over to Johannesburg to study at Vega, which is, I think, is an advertising and communications and all those fancy things. So he went to Vega, where he learned, studied digital marketing. He then went over to TBW, and he was an African ops executive after finishing school. Okay, so we're talking about big marketing guys here now. Okay. Then he moved to EMSCO to be their marketing and communications officer for the offices in sub-Saharan Africa. Then the regional marketing and comms manager for EBS advisory and stakeholder community. What is this? Communications for rare disease in South Africa. And now he's at the Psycha Enterprise Development and the Hope Factory as their group marketing manager. Okay, there was a whole lot of tongue twisters, but fortunately for me, this person that I'm speaking to will be able to explain all of these terms. I know Psycha has got something to do with accounting, chartered accountants of South Africa, but all the other stuff that he's done in his life, he will explain, and he'll explain his journey with us. I've got none other than a fellow person from New Brighton. I am very proud to say I've got Tando Faku, but I call him Beast. Beast, what's up, my boy?
Good, my brother. How are you doing?
Now I'm good, man. I'm good. It's winter for you guys, I guess. You're wearing a jersey. As you can see, I'm in a t-shirt. It feels like summer over here, even though it's winter,
Yeah.
So now, to kick things off, right, I like to keep these simple, To kick things off, I like to take it easy, take it smoothly so that you can sort of work your way into this not very serious podcast, but we are going to take a journey of your life. So I want to know from you, who is Beast? Where did you grow up? Where did this whole entire journey to where you are start from?
Okay, cool, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Nedo. So my journey started actually at Sydenham Primary School.
Okay.
That's where I went as a young man, went to Sydenham Primary School. From there, moved up to Muir College, and that's where I also got into becoming a hostel boy.
Okay.
So that happened, I think, in 2003. And yeah, I became a Muirite from there. Went into, I would say, probably a lifetime change, soon after going to a all boys and girls school, and going to an all boys school was a proper shift, And yeah, so I enjoyed probably one of the best times of my life at Muir College. I was a hostel boy from at the age of 14 years old. I think that's when I actually moved from home. I would put it that way, I moved from home when I was 14. I went to Muir College, started at grade 8, and went all the way to matric. And then from matric, I then went to Vega, and that's where I kind of started an advertising career. But before I even get to advertising, I think I got to really enjoy advertising in grade 11 in Mr. Kruti's classes. And that's when I I feel that I made the decision in Mr. Kruti's classes. I think that's where I really enjoyed I enjoyed, I would say,
Language,
exactly the
copywriting.
language, the copywriting. And I was so fascinated. I never knew what it was, but it was so fascinating to be able to know how to articulate yourself, to be able to write in words. And yeah, that's when it all started. And then I started to research more about this career. And then I ended up with Vega and AAA. But fortunately for myself, I went to Vega. I then went through, I think, 3 years of Vega. I graduated and I got a diploma in communications management.
Okay.
And then I started an internship at Grid Worldwide, where I also got transferred to TBWA, where I was now obviously a Africa Ops executive.
Okay.
And yeah, that's when I also got introduced to Africa. I mean, as
You started traveling.
24-year-old, yeah. As a 24-year-old, I mean, coming from New Brighton, also, I mean, the fact that it was even my first flight actually going to Joburg. Let me just put it that way. I mean, it was my first flight going to Joburg. It was my first time going to a very an expensive school.
Yeah.
And also a specialized school in advertising. So it was quite life-changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So after
fortunate.
that, yeah, I must say I'm blessed and quite fortunate to be in that space in terms of getting your first flight coming from New Brighton, also born in New Brighton, and then catching your first flight to Johannesburg, going to this very expensive specialized school. So yeah, man. Yeah, so I continued working. I then moved to Amsco, where I worked as a marketing and comms officer. And then I obviously continued to explore Africa. I think that was probably another life-changing moment where I even stayed in some of African countries, such as in Kenya. I've stayed in Kenya before for about a couple of months. And yeah, I worked there, did events, a lot of events. I did a lot of workshops. I engaged with a lot of marketing professionals there. I've met some friends there, and ever since then, after traveling, those are the types of people that I would say, I can still keep in touch with. Whenever they come to the country, they always call me up.
So you've got international connections now.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah. So it's always nice to engage with those types of people across the countries that I've actually worked in.
Cool. All right. So you've basically broken all the rules of this show. You've answered all the other questions that I was about to ask you about what you did after school, which is okay, which means that we can go into the school part of the whole interview. So I want to know from you, after school, right, you do all of these nice and extraordinary things because of the foundation that the school you've gone to has laid for you, right? So now I want to know, what are some of the memories that you have from high school?
There's plenty. There's a lot. I mean, one of the memories that I love is whenever I used to get into the field. So obviously there's a school tradition to, when you run into the field, there's a tunnel that the boys stand in, and the boys used to, for rugby, of course, and then they used to call me Beast. They used to shout my name every time I ran inside the field, which was quite nice. It was always nice to look forward to that. So that's one of the memories. Operation.
That's a very popular one, actually. All the stuff that you guys get up to during that time, where the teachers are not looking, but they really are looking.
So Operation, look, I won't say all the bad stuff, but there was a moment where, most of the boys were in trouble.
Yeah.
And And I was one of the boys that was part of that trouble, and I was called up. And I must say, I've got a confession to make.
No, wait, we're going there. You can make the confession later on. We're still in the shallow waters. Go to the confessions right now. Okay, so my next question for you, reunions are a big part of being an old boys college student, right? It's a big part of our lives where every year we congregate and we sort of have this nostalgic moment walking through the corridors of our old school and talking about stories and stuff that we did in school. I don't know from you if you've participated in any of the reunions.
Yes, I have participated in the reunions from 2007 to 2017. Yeah, my 10-year reunion.
Yeah,
I was part of that group. Yeah, so it was very nice. It was very nice to connect with past schoolboys. So I really enjoyed that.
Cool. Now, so you guys meet at these reunions and you know, if I may, it's a crazy weekend, right? Reunion weekend is always a crazy weekend. I want to know if you are still in contact with some of the guys that you went to school with, and if so, who are some of the guys that you can mention that you still are in contact and still friends with?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm friends still with Wenga, Shumelo, all the guys in PE. I'm still friends with all the group in Utinig as well, Luando, also guys in Joburg, Moxie, I'm also in touch with, Lerato in Cape Town. There's quite a few of the boys that I am still friends with. I don't think I've made any other new friendships outside of that. My friends have always been very temporarily in terms of outside the group of Murites. So yeah, I think I'm still friends with all my friends that I went to school with.
So going to a school like Muir, right? It's a privilege, we're very lucky to go to a school that can instill a sense of discipline in us, especially if you were a hostel boy. There's a sense of discipline that's instilled. There's a sense of purpose that's instilled. Now, I want to know, how has going to Muir College helped you becoming the Tando Faku that you are today?
There's quite a lot. I mean, that school played a very big role in my life, I must say, because I mean, as I said in the beginning, I went to Muir when I was 14 years old, and literally, what that instilled is that there's life cycles in life, and that's what Muir taught me. There's a pecking order in life. You start in grade 8, same way you start your life over after you go to matric. There's always a bigger objective or bigger goal to where you're going, but you need to start somewhere. And for that taught me discipline, patience, respect the journey of where you're going. So hostel taught me that. It taught me that, look, you know what, you're starting here now. You have to adapt to new things. And this is how Muir is about, and you gotta adapt into it. Otherwise, you're gonna fall off. And normally, as you may know, I mean, Muir, if you were different at Muir, if you were different behavior and you were a problem, I don't think you would have made it to matric. You wouldn't have made it. You know what I mean? Somewhere around grade 10, then that's when they made a plan for you. But again, same applies. 14 years to 18 years, and also going into Johannesburg. And you know what I mean? Like going into Johannesburg, different place completely. First time going into Johannesburg, I still adapted what I had taught in high school, which is respect, discipline, because I knew I was starting from scratch. So it's always a life cycle of 5 years. I've always also now, even now, right? I'm 35 years old now. And I've always So I've looked at, yeah, exactly. I've looked at life in 5 stages. Only because of
5 year stages.
5 year stages, 14, 18, and then moving to another phase. So yeah, I guess that's how I've looked at my life, and that's what Mio had really instilled in me.
Cool, man. That's a great
Yeah.
answer there. So now you spoke about confessions, right? So we're reaching the end of our interview. So you spoke about confessions. So this is the time where I can allow you to confess what is the craziest thing that you have done in high school. Now, don't be shy.
Don't get me fired, man, you know. But back in high school, the craziest thing was to, you know, we smoked weed, right? And that's what we did. In
Continue.
So this moment was when we went to operation. It wasn't all the time. So this was where you could do like all sorts of things. And one of those things was to try out weed. And we were caught. I was caught, and I was caught in. And yeah, man, I just like opened a door of confessions where I told Mr. Francis that all the boys that I was smoking with, and that was it. And that was the confession that I was the one that
You
that,
snitch
that
on
told on
everybody.
everyone, each and every single person.
Oh, beast. Why?
So sorry, guys.
All right. So the second last question, or as Mr. Kruti would have me say, the penultimate question is, what do you think thus far is your greatest achievement?
Yeah, my greatest achievement, there's a couple of them, and I think I did also mention it earlier, is that the fact that I managed to travel about 7 countries, African countries, in a space of 6 months, and to be able to run successful events in even foreign countries such as Cameroon, for example, where it's all French-speaking people. And you know, communication was quite difficult there, so I had to do a lot of groundwork in terms of getting translators and making sure that the event runs well. That's I think that's probably that's one of my greatest achievements. And secondly is that the fact that I'm a father. You know, uh, for 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 me to be like to be responsible for someone else, you know, that means a lot to me. Yeah.
You know, I'm
So
laughing because I've known you since you were this small and you are now fun.
so for the fact that I'm a dad, and for me that brings so much purpose in my life.
Yeah.
It's more difficult to give up now because I've got so much responsibility that I need to look out for. So yeah, I mean, those are I think, 2 main things in terms of achievements that I've made in my life so far.
Cool, man. Beast, thank you very much for spending this time with us. You've traveled 7 countries, but technology, it was killing you just now, eh?
It's where you are. It's the network.
What are some of the last words you would like to say to the old Muirites out there?
Yeah, I think let's first of all, this was a fantastic initiative to connect us boys. I think that this is amazing. You know, let's continue to be the boys that you are, because it is definitely a privilege to be at Muir. And yeah, let's continue to bring back all the memories and give back where we can to this great union and school.
Cool. Yes, thank you very much, man. I hope you future success. And, you know, in becoming a father, some of the advice I can give you, you know, just try your best to not lose your mind. Okay. Okay, guys, that's the end of our interview there with Tando Faku, also known as Beast. If you are out there and you're Murite and you'd like to connect or to hear some of the stories from guys that maybe went to the same, that are in the same school year or were at school with you while you were at Muir College, you can always go back and watch all the other podcasts that we've done right here on this channel. And the easiest way to do it is to just subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification so that you'll be notified every time we have a new episode up. You can also get notified by also following us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, as well as on Instagram. We have all the information of the Old Murite Union right there on those social media pages. So from me in the beautiful Kruger National Park with beautiful weather, I'll say it is always good to know that you are second to none. And please, guys, always keep it like that. I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.